Hello, I'm Philippa Huckle and this is Without Fear or Greed. We're going to take a look at why investors herd, what causes it, why herding is so dangerous, and what you can do to avoid it. When we're faced with a decision, we've got two ways of deciding what action we could take. We can assess the facts for ourselves and formulate our own opinion, or if we're not sure what to do or feel we don't quite have enough information, we can take our cue from what other people are doing. When we're unsure, it's human nature to instinctively look to others for guidance, and there is a rationale behind this. We assume if a lot of people are doing something, they probably have a good reason for doing it. We make the assumption that they know something we don't, so we duplicate their behavior. This thought process and train of action is known as an information cascade. A lot of the time it does actually make sense to use an information cascade. Since we don't have the time, resources, knowledge, or talent to be experts in absolutely everything, it makes sense to simply imitate people that we think know more about a particular area, especially people that we admire. And of course, that's why luxury brands pay celebrities vast sums to behave as ambassadors for their merchandise. Information cascades are central to our community-based life. Fashions, cuisine, traditions, moral codes of conduct, slang, manners are all the result of information cascades and group consensus. Information cascades are the cause of herding or crowd behavior. And being part of a crowd is reassuring and comforting. Psychologically, there is safety in numbers. The larger the crowd, the more compelling and magnetic its pull. Herding can feel perfectly normal at the time, but can often seem very strange once it's over. Herding is a very powerful human instinct, and humans actually aren't the only ones that do it. Army ants are practically blind, so when worker ants get split off from their colony and are not sure where to go, if one ant starts to move in a direction, the ant behind it makes a simple decision to follow the ant in front. The result is a strange configuration known as an ant mill. Massive circular formations of lost worker ants marching one behind the other in a massive circle until ultimately they all die because they get stuck in an endless circular march without any food. They can't go anywhere. The largest documented ant mill had a 1,200-foot circumference and a circuit time of 2.5 hours. Of course, investment cascades are rife in investing and can have some pretty severe repercussions. Back in the days of the dot-com boom, Hong Kong's wealthiest businessman Li Ka-shing announced the IPO of his new internet business called Tom.com, and I'll just read to you from a local Hong Kong newspaper report at the time. Tom.com has received about 1.5 million applications to buy the shares, a record-breaking oversubscription. 500 police officers were called in to keep order in banks where application forms for the IPO were being collected. According to the Hong Kong police, there were about 300,000 people queuing up before the application deadline at noon on Wednesday. The queues stretched for several blocks. And the final sentence of the article, Tom.com has no revenue record as yet. Herding is so dangerous in investing because it's built on an information cascade. And information cascades are so dangerous because they're so fragile. They're fueled by imitation, so they can collapse as suddenly as they started. That's why spectacular buying frenzies in stock markets are so often followed by an equally spectacular crash. So, information cascades lead to herding. Herding causes investors to buy high because everyone else is buying, or just as dangerously, causes panicked investors to sell because everyone else is selling. Fortunately, you can neutralize giddy herding behavior by making sure that a reliable rebalancing mechanism is part and parcel of your portfolio management methodology. And remember, the average person's life expectancy now is 84 years. That means if you're 40 or 50 years old, you still have another 3 or 4 decades of investing ahead. So despite the challenges in the global economy at the moment, there are still plenty of sensible places that you can thoughtfully position your capital that will bring you plenty of rewards in the many years ahead. Thanks for listening. I'm Philippa Huckle, and that was Without Fear or Greed. because excellent investing is about more than just the numbers.